Donk Nation, Jackson Janet's greetings and welcome to your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you a special Steelers talk this week for the offseason, as we got Bugvoo in the house for the first time in a while, here to talk about all things Steelers happenings in this offseason. How's it going, buddy?
Good.
Good. You gotta talk a little louder so people can hear you.
Good.
Okay, there we go. Bug's been interested in watching all kinds of sports recently. We've watched a few XFL games, some new exciting rule changes going on there. Did you enjoy watching the XFL games?
Yep.
And you want to watch one this afternoon since maybe it'll be on TV for once on a channel we get?
Yeah.
Yeah. And special shout out to finally a really explosive offensive performance by someone. Abram Smith, running back, ran for over 200 yards in a game. Pretty impressive when you consider there's only like 5 people through 5 weeks who even have 200 yards rushing, huh? Yeah, that is a pretty impressive thing. But let's get into Steelers news, into some Steelers talk. This week, there's a few new signings that I'll talk about, I'll touch on. To me, bringing back Zach Gentry was a huge move for the Steelers. I loved him as the second tight end, a good run blocker, part of the Cerberus, as I like to call him, the three-headed monster at tight end. We also bring back good special teamer depth piece at cornerback and James Pierre on a really cheap contract. That was good to see. And sign a new swing tackle, as we lost our swing tackle, Trent Scott, this week, and then replace him with LaRaven Clark. Just same type of guy, swing tackle guys who shouldn't be starting, guys who that if they're starting, there's reason for concern, I would say, huh? Yeah. Your thought on any of the signings this week? Any of them really move the needle for you on how the Steelers are doing?
I don't know.
You don't know. That's fair to say at this point. But maybe more importantly this week, the Steelers started to lose some players who were actually contributors to the football team. Again, I mean, you've lost Terrell Edmonds out there, starting strong safety essentially since he was a rookie and on a really cheap contract to Philly. They lost Cam Sutton because he got $3-4 more million than the Steelers were willing to pay, apparently, as they went cheap with Patrick Peterson. You've lost Devin Bush. There's a lot of guys who you could say might be important parts of this team, specifically on the defense. Miles Jack, Robert Spillane, all the guys who had the starting time last year who aren't there. But then there are new guys coming in, Bug. We've mentioned Patrick Peterson. We mentioned resigning DeMonte Casey. We've brought in 2 new middle linebackers, I guess, in Holcomb and Roberts, but 3 if you consider Tay Crowder, and 2 years ago was a full-time starter for the Giants. Do you think this team is upgraded on defense when you look at all the losses given to all the games? Yeah. Do you think there's still some spots on defense that maybe the Steelers need to address in the draft because they haven't quite added the depth there, whether it's another pass rusher, another defensive lineman, a younger cornerback to play on the outside? Yeah. And then I want to talk offensively. Steven Sims signs a contract with the Houston Texans that's lower than the amount of money the Steelers are giving Gunnar Olszewski. The Steelers decide to keep Gunnar Olszewski, who lost his job last year to Steven Sims. A little bit confusing when a guy takes another guy's job. You could have him for less money, but you let him walk away and keep the guy who lost the job for more money? That seems a little bit odd.
Very odd.
Yeah, there must be something the Steelers see in Gunnar Olszewski that none of the rest of us see, huh? Yeah, that's what I have to assume, and I don't really know what to say about it. Another spot the Steelers improved, they add a couple offensive linemen. If you remember, Kenny Pickett had a couple concussions last year. Both could be blamed to James Daniels missing blocks. So the Steelers go out and bring in Nate Herbig, and they bring in Isaac Sumualu, a really good guard. Last year, I think he rated as a top 10 guard by PFF. Really talented guy, kind of like bringing in James Daniels the year before to improve this offensive line. You think it's important to keep Kenny healthy? You think this investment in the offensive line is going to pay dividends? Maybe bring in some more rushing lanes for Najee or Jaylen Warren? Yeah? Anything you want to say about any of the moves so far?
No, not really.
Anything you want to say about the Steelers' offseason so far? No, you're just sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the back to yes-no answer bug that many of the people here have come to love. That's fair enough. when we look at this team, we look at this construction, there's still some work to be done. Still some positions that could be upgraded. We'll see what the Steelers do. There's still some former Steeler free agents who could be brought back on friendly deals to help this team out. I mean, right now, giving $8 million to a backup quarterback in an era where fringe starters get 3.5 because look what Andy Dalton got. You could talk maybe bringing back Mason Rudolph and letting Mitch Trubisky go to save a little money, maybe invest that money in another player, maybe find a way to sign a guy like Bud Dupree who knows the system's been here. There's a few still fringy players at cornerback that could be added. There's some defensive linemen who could bring instant help. Do you think the Steelers should be done and wait till the draft, or do you think the Steelers should still be active out there in pursuing free agents to help this team for hopefully an improvement going into next season?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, you got give me a heads up. Do you think they just whatever your gut feel tells you right now? Should they keep looking to add free agents, or should they just wait for the draft?
Keep looking.
Keep looking. That's always a good way to do it. Getting good free agents always helps build the team. Well, Bug, like I said, this was going to be a quick one because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. There wasn't a whole lot of moves. This is kind of the lull time in free agency and the offseason. The first 2 weeks of free agency normally go pretty fast and lots of heavy movement. And then you get the boring time between then and the draft. But it was good to have you out here doing a little analysis with us, a little breakdown of what you've seen. Maybe we'll have you on for another show this offseason. What do you think about that?
Good.
Yeah, you'd like that? Okay. Well, I guess that means we can go to shout outs. Do you have anyone you want to shout out in anything, any sports, anywhere right now?
No.
No shout outs at all? Okay, well, my shout out for this week is going to be, I believe it was San Diego State, the team that beat Alabama in the NCAA tournament, so that we didn't have to talk about how morally despicable Alabama is with the way they handled things, because winning matters more than anything else. And I think we live in an era where that should not be the case anymore, but heck, what do I know? I'm just glad that they lost before they got to go too far. Now it's time to let you know I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of donkey with ginger is the YouTube channel. We're joined and graced by Bugaboo here today. He don't got no socials. He's a little too young for that. Don't need to be exposed to that stuff yet, although he seems to think he should have all electronics. But we love it here. Bugaboo, I guess it's the time to sign off, to say, Steeler Nation, Donk Nation, wave them if you got them.
Here he goes, Telos.